Hi, this is Deb Tejan with the Department of English Language Learners, and this is our second installment of the Book Whisperer training that we're doing this year. Otherwise, we call it the 100 Book Challenge. Our first training was during our back to school, and then our second training occurred a couple weeks ago at the Professional Development Center. My plan was to broadcast that particular training live and then to archive the video for you to watch at your leisure from your desktop. Well, it didn't quite work out that way, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the process because as professionals and educators, I think we have to be a little bit transparent as we're trying to incorporate technology into our practice and add that as one of our strong tools in our tool belt. Because even though I forgot to archive the video, I learned so many things. So it wasn't a success, but it wasn't a failure either because I learned how to create a YouTube channel, which I'd never done before. I learned how to use our swivel camera. I learned how to set up the plan for a live broadcast. I just forgot to archive the video. And since I hadn't told you there was a live broadcast going on, none of you were looking in. And so I video streamed our training to nobody and then didn't archive it. But you know what? I don't count it all lost because I did learn a lot. But today you're going to be stuck with a talking head. So I apologize for that, and we'll get better as we go on. So our training today is going to be about the 100 Book Challenge, and what I think has happened up to this point in your classroom, and if it hasn't, please just let me know how I can help you. But what I think has happened is that you've ordered the tubs from the IRC, starting with probably red and going all the way up to brown, and you've laid those books out in those tubs out in your classroom in the order of difficulty, and that you have then had your kids go collect the books, one from the easy tub, the next one was a little more difficult, the one below that was more difficult, all the way to the most difficult book you have in the collection. Then you ask the kids to read for just a few minutes. Turn anywhere in the book and read, and they read for a couple minutes, and if it was fun, fast, and easy, they took the book and they laid it aside and went on to the next color. They continued doing that until they got to a level that was no longer fun, fast, and easy. A level where it was a little bit more difficult to understand what they were reading or pronounce the words. Independent reading means that 98% of the words that they read should come easily for them. They shouldn't have to sound them out. They shouldn't have to guess at their meaning. So for our ELLs, the level that we're asking them to read independently might be lower than what you see them able to do in the classroom, but we want them to be able to do it without struggling so that it's a pleasurable activity. That doesn't mean we're not going to increase their reading level. We are. But for where we want them right now, we want them at a completely independent level so that we can work on some other skills through their reading as opposed to sounding things out and that kind of thing. So let's talk a little bit about what you do after the fun, fast, and easy. Well, I'm hoping that you provided every kid in your classroom a folder. Now this is the actual official 100 Book Challenge folders, which I gave out to the people who attended the training, lucky ducks, but any folder will do. They should have a folder, and inside the folder they should have a reading log that they're filling out. And that reading log needs to have the title of the book, it needs to have the pages that they've read up to this point, and the amount of time that they've read. For the time that you've allowed them to read in class, you'll sign. If they've read at home, the parent will sign. If they've read in another teacher's class, they can sign. And you're going to count up the amount of time that they've read. Every 15 minutes is called one step. And so you're going to keep track of how many steps you've asked them to read up to date. So, for example, if I said you're going to read 2 steps, one in class and one at home, and for 5 days, that would be 10 steps. And so on that Friday, I have a 10 written up on my chalkboard, and my kids know that at minimum, they should have read 10 steps. That's one of the ways you get a grade, is that I look at their reading log, I calculate how many steps they read compared to the goal. So if they meet the goal, then they have a 70 because that was the minimum expectation. Anything above, their grade goes up. Anything below, their grade goes down. So that's one of the ways you can get a grade in this. There are going to be other ways, but that is one way, because your expectation is the amount of reading that they're doing each day. So they have their folder with the reading log in it that you're checking periodically. The other thing that you need to have now to move forward is this stack of cards. They should be laminated and on a little ring. These are your teacher cards that you're going to be using. Along with these, you should have student cards that are not laminated. They're just cardboard, and the students are going to use these as consumables, and they're going to go inside their folder with their reading log, and this is how you're going to be setting goals with the kids. These cards can be found on the SchoolNet curriculum planner. I have some in my office if you want to request specific colors from me. We will make an order at the end of the year for the following year. Whoever had this course last year was supposed to make sure you had all the supplies you need. So check on campus to see if you can find these if you're not able to lay your hands on them right now. But they also are online, so you can print them off. So you've got this card, and every card is different. There's a card for the white bucket, there's a card for the purple bucket, there's a card for the red bucket. And on the card are the appropriate skills that the kids need to be working on during that level of reading. For example, I have a white card in front of me. And on my white card, it says that I need to be able to describe the setting, time and place, and compare it to other stories. So if I have my readers, I have them take their cards out every day during their reading time, and I have them mark, circle, put a sticky note by, however you want to do it, what goal they're going to be working on that day. And I'm walking around and I'm listening into their reading. And so if I had marked, describe the setting, time and place, and compare it to other stories, as the teacher, I'd walk over to my student and I'd say, oh, can you describe the setting of the book that you're reading? Oh my gosh. I think I might have just blanked out. Can you describe the setting of the book you're reading? And you're going to ask them to describe the setting, including time and place, and then compare it to another story that they may have read or that you might have read in class. And once they do that, you as the teacher, you're going to initial that right there, and they're going to choose another goal for another day. These goals will help walk them through everything they need to do to be able to move from this level to the next level. So once they have everything initialed, then you're going to be able to test them to see if they're ready to move. Now, we're going to talk about the testing at our third meeting, which will be coming up. But for example, on here, they have to be able to finish a chapter book in a week. Then they're also going to have to read an hour a day, including 30 minutes at home. They're going to have to read a traditional tale, a poetry, drama, contemporary fiction. So it will take them a considerable period of time to complete everything that's on these cards. And you as the teacher are going to be checking in with them, supporting them as they complete what's on this card. Now on the back of the card, there are some vocabulary words. These vocabulary words are basic words that students reading in this level will come across and be able to read fluently. So this is where you can do some work with vocabulary. You can take your kids that are in the white tub, call them up to the table where you are and work with them in small groups, working on the different vocabulary that they're going to see, playing vocabulary games, reading for fluency, all of those kinds of things. So this is your next step in the program, these cards. So you are going to provide the cards to the students, show them how to pick goals, and then you're going to start having them work through the goals that are on these cards. The kid keeps this in their folder with the reading log, and you mark it off as they complete this. Our next training is going to be on using our ERLA in order to check to see if they're ready to move on to a new level. Do I have them placed correctly? What skills might they be missing in their reading? And we'll do that just in a couple weeks, but it's going to take you a couple weeks to get this down and get this routine established. So if you have any questions or concerns about how to introduce these cards, please, please, please just send me an email and I'll come out and help you. If you have trouble finding the cards, whatever it is. But at this point, I should be able to come into your classroom and see tubs, reading folders, reading logs, the number of minutes posted, and then we should start seeing these cards being implemented. I just can't express to you how important this period of time is in your instruction. We will never, ever, ever be able to teach our students enough vocabulary, all of the words that they may see on the STAR test or need in science class. The only way we're going to increase their vocabulary is by reading. And the more they read, the more vocabulary they learn, and the better they become at reading. So it's a cycle that just keeps building, building, and increasing over time. And that's why this is very, very critical. So I hope that this has been clear for you. I hope that you understand what we're looking at as far as the cards and the steps and the folders and the reading logs. If you have any questions, please contact me. Have a great day.